Hi there. In this video we'll be taking a look at this Crivit LED bike light set from Lidl. So, I'm restoring my bicycle. I'm also restoring one for my wife. Both of them do have some lights, but they are quite old and I'm not 100% positive if they are still worth, I don't know, repairing the lights themselves. So I saw this at Lidl and it looked like a nice product, decided to buy it and let's see if it's any good. And yes, bought only one because I want first to really see if I like it and then I will get the second one. I learned my lesson to not buy too many of the same things from the start. You will just be disappointed by a bigger factor. So it seems it has an OSRAM. I think I saw somewhere on it OSRAM LED, which is good because at least it should be somewhat reliable. IP44, maybe a bit more would have been best, but in theory you are not using your bicycle that much if it's raining, and also it needs to be night because you can take this thing off if it's raining and put it in your backpack or something. But yeah, so 70 lux for the front light, 4 candles I think for the backlight, 9.5 hours for the front one, so that's quite enough. You should be getting to where you need to go by that time. 5.5 to 6 hours for the back one. And it has 3 light intensity modes. I'm expecting the maximum is with the lowest. That would make sense. Plus an automatic one where it will switch between these things depending on how much light it senses on it. So that could be also quite interesting if it's also able to completely shut it off when there's sun on it. But probably it's still better to shut it off yourself, or maybe it can just switch between these 3 and it doesn't know to shut it off fully, so then yeah, you also need to shut it off. Also it seems it shows you the charge level because this thing has, where is it 1800 milliamp hour lithium ion battery, lithium ion, sorry, and 300 milliamp hour for the rear one, which I think should be more than enough. Here are the sizes of it, and it charges with USB Type-C, which is actually perfect. So yeah, who produced it? Germany. Okay, we'll see about that, won't we? Hopefully it has German quality. Who knows? Let's get into this little boxy. Let me peel this off. First impression, this is not a, I don't know, Chinese quality feeling product. And when I say that, I mean the really cheap ones, because they can also make quality products, but they choose not to most of the times. Okay, so we can clearly, we can barely actually see the light sensor deep in there. So that should be for automatic control. Let's turn it on. Ooh, this is stiffer than expected. Okay, I think I need to long press it. Long press it for off. Okay, long press it for on. We have about 50% battery from the start. These are the levels. This is the brightest one, obviously. When do we have? Oh, now we are in sensor mode. So if I put this here, you see that. But let me somehow put some light on it. Will it shut off? It did change the brightness by itself. Let me turn on the flash on my camera and see what happens. No, it will not fully shut off, ever. It just dims it to the max. Yeah, it just dims it to the max. Okay. So you do need to fully shut it off. And also, let me fully shut it off. Long press. When you turn it back on, it's directly in the last mode that you used. So it does have memory, which is perfect. And let's see, charging port itself. Quite hard to do this with one hand. Yep, USB Type-C. And also, it's nice that you can be a little bit seen from the side. It has this right here. Just so somebody coming at you from the side knows that you have this on, you are there basically. Not annoying, but it is enough. The spot that it makes, I think it's quite decent for a bicycle. Yeah, it will be higher than this, obviously. Okay, that's good. Charging cable itself. And this little guy. Let me see how I can turn this one off. Oh, so this is no long press. This is, okay, let me see how many modes it has. Or only one. If I don't press it. No, it seems it only has one mode. That's not a problem, honestly, for me. I've seen many using for bicycle the flickering mode, but I don't know. I don't necessarily like that, but I thought it will have it. No, it does not seem to have it. Although there's quite a lot of electronics on that PCB. Actually, no, not quite a lot. It's quite a simple PCB in there if I look a bit better. I was expecting it to have another mode. It's quite bright. It can also be seen from the side. Yeah, does give the feeling of a good product. And charging right in here. Nice. And it also has this, which is rubber, and this is rubber, which will stay against the bicycle, I don't know, tube or whatever where you decide to put it, and it will not allow it to rotate. This is also obviously rubber, and it latches in there, but also from what I see, that can remain where you put it, and we have this lock right here, and this will just slide to the front. Quite hard for me to do with one hand, so be back in a second. So this is what I was saying. You can just leave this on your handlebar and get this thing off, and it's basically at that point, long press, a portable flashlight. That's great. Just to test the automatic system, hopefully my phone will not compensate when I'm touching the sensor. Let me fix the focus right there. You see it getting dimmer and brighter when I cover the sensor. And it's not just in 3 steps, it's actually making intermediate steps. So at night, yeah, I think this mode will be quite cool. I would use this for sure. So it does not fully shut off, which is good. And it just controls the level. Perfect. If it did not come across properly on video, this is bright. So this is quite bright, the LED one, the LED, obviously LED, the red one. And I think the LED itself is also colored. I don't think it's a white LED in there. Or maybe this plastic is really good at switching the light to red, in which case I also like that, because it's a really nice shade or type of red. And yes, obviously you can adjust this to be as tight as you want it. A warning right here to not charge this when it's really hot and in the sun, because lithium ion batteries do not like to be charged when they are really hot or cold, for that matter. Yeah, they kind of also say when using or storing. They might want you to have this in your backpack and only clip it on during the night. Yeah, maybe this is also kind of anti-theft, honestly, because it's easy to take out of its place, and yes, somebody might like it as a flashlight. But yeah, anyway, I will probably just keep it on always. We'll see. If you want to see more info, right here it is. So the front light 2 watts, rear one 0.2 watts. Capacity of the batteries, what type of charger they would prefer, so at least a 1 amp charger. How to switch modes, obviously how to install, and it seems even rear one has a blue and a green LED. And yes, for this one, sadly, there's no way to know how much battery it has in it. It will just blink blue when there's not enough battery capacity left and you need to charge it. So at this point, we do not really know how much it has in it. And there's no way to know exactly. For locking it in place, let me see how I can push it with one hand. Quite a satisfying click. Normally it will not fly off because it's put onto your handlebar. And yes, it seems to have this type of hooking mechanism to hold it in place. And the LED, weirdly enough, is up top, so on the PCB, and the reflector is doing all of the light guiding to get it in the correct position. Quite an interesting design. And it's charging. And from what I can see, you don't have a clear indication if it's 50% charged, 75% charged. It's just doing this for all the period of charging. Nope, I was wrong. This was just way less charged than I was thinking by what it was originally showing. Okay, so it seems I really misunderstood the instructions, because they are not fully off when it's fully charged. They are just all of them on. This is actually quite funny. So the green LED appears orange through the red filter. So maybe that one is also actually white, but this red filter is really good quality. Anyway, so this thing seems to be charging at the moment. And this is also fully charged, and as you can see, all lights are off. So for this one, the light turns off when it's charged. I've installed this on my father's bicycle handlebar. He has that type of headlight, and with this type of generator, it makes a lot of noise, makes light only when you are pedaling, doesn't work properly most of the time. And I want to see how nice of a spot this makes in the evening in front of the bicycle, and I will also install the rear one and see how that looks like. Installed it here. This does not really have any sort of reflector, so unless it's on, you will not really see it. Old style ones do kind of have reflectors, and also this bicycle has a reflector, so yeah. But this doesn't really have that, so it needs to be on to be properly seen. I couldn't install it under the seat because my father has this on his bicycle, homemade, so yeah, we'll see how it looks like in the evening. Okay, so it's night. As you can see, it's on sensor mode, and this thing is freaking bright. It's at 3 to 4 meters at this point, and you can clearly see everything that you need to see. So let's try a bit dimmer. Now we are at max, middle level. You can still see whatever you need to see. Lowest level, and honestly, this was kind of the maximum that we were getting 20 years ago with a dynamo or whatever that was called. that my father actually has on his bicycle, this was kind of the maximum level of light that we were getting. So yeah, this is really bright when you want it really bright. Perfect. And the rear one is also really bright. So you need to not want to see this, otherwise it's impossible to not see it even from the side. So yeah, it's pretty good. And this one also from the side, not possible to not see it. So it provides also a bit of visibility from the side. When somebody or something is coming at you, you are highly visible. It's perfect. Up to this point, I like this purchase. Nothing to say bad about them. Hopefully they last in time, but ask me about that in the comments, because yeah, hopefully they will last at least a few good years. But what I can say I do not like is this system right here. You really freaking need to tighten it. Really pull onto this. Hopefully it will not rip, to make sure that it basically does not rotate on you. So yeah, there's that. And it prefers thicker handlebars from what I can see. So yeah, that's not ideal, but it can be tightened as much as you need, but hopefully it will not break in time from this getting cooked by the sun over the years. And now let's do a test and see for how long they stay on. I would consider they went on for about 10 minutes until now, so we will add that to this time. This is on, there's no other setting, it's simple there. This one I think I will use it on middle power level. So let's see, that's max, yeah, that was middle. Now it's sensor, now it's max, now it's middle. And see for how many hours it will work like that. Put these things high up here so my daughters can't reach them. We are at 3.5 hours mark, they are still going strong. And yes, the flickering, what you can see here, it's just on camera. In reality, you do not see that. That one seems to be at half battery, more or less. This one does not give us any sign of being discharged yet. So yeah, continue to monitor them. After 5 hours, still no signs of giving up. About 7.5 hours, both of them, we can see a blue light in there. So this is telling us, hey, your battery is starting to go, and that one is flickering also. So they last right about the same if this is set to middle light level. And I had some work to do outside and it took longer than I expected, so I'm back in here about 9 hours later. This one's still working, that one shut off. So somewhere between 7.5 and 9 hours that shut off on middle power level. On lowest power level I'm quite sure it would actually match this little one. And I will also shut this down because I see no reason to continue. It has surpassed its rating by a lot. And this one, I'm quite sure it would actually also surpass its rating if I would use it on low power level, but I decided to test on a more realistic middle power level. And yeah, I like what I see. So only thing that remains to be seen in time is their durability, but for that months, years need to pass. So feel free to ask me in the comments what I feel about them. I will do my best to give you a feedback, and yeah, that's about it. Hope this video helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.